Did you know that McDonald's does not have a chorizo egg McMuffin? That's right, and nor do they have this recipe for chorizo that I'm about to show you. We're starting off with the base here, 5 guajillos. Oh yeah, don't mind my finger. I cut myself pretty bad at my 9 to 5. I'm sure I need stitches, but you need this video more than I need stitches. So again, we have 5 guajillos here, and we have 1 chile California. Now don't get these confused. California and Guajillo look very similar. If you were to go the other way around and do like 5 California and 1 Guajillo, that flavor would be so pungent. But if you want to try it, be my guest. Just don't say I didn't tell you so. And 1 chile ancho for that nice pruny slight sweetness. We are deseeding all of these, and you should know how to do that by now. If not, watch some of my old videos. Now to very hot water, almost to the brink of simmer, we're going to add about 5 or 6 cloves of garlic and all the chili pods that we deseeded. Now we're going to bring this to a simmer, or a very high simmer, almost a rolling boil, and then we're going to go ahead and turn it off. But Chivo, my grandma says that they get bitter. And tell your grandma Lupe to sit down and to chill, because once they start to boil, we're going to turn it off and we're going to allow them to steep here for about 5 to 10 minutes just so they can soften. That should be enough time for the garlic to cook through, and also just try to keep the chiles underneath the water as much as possible. And don't worry about bitterness. If I had $1 for every time someone said something turns bitter because you overcooked it, I'd be a millionaire. Or I must be the most fortunate guy ever. And we're taking this to the electric molcajete. Make sure you transfer every single little piece of chile and garlic here. And also make sure you preserve some of that chile broth. Now we have about 3 bay leaves here, dry bay leaves. Now this recipe is for about 2 pounds of meat. I used about 5 or 6 of these whole cloves and a good nice pinch of this Mexican oregano. Very important. Now if you don't have it, it's fine, but try to get some. Try to have that in your pantry. Now a nice very big pinch of whole cumin seed and about 8 or 10 whole peppercorns. A nice shot of apple cider vinegar. For those that don't drink, it's about 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces. And that chili broth, it's going to be just enough to get it going. Be careful because you can always add, but you can never take away. Let the electric molcajete do its thing. I felt I needed a little bit more of that broth, so I added some broth. Be careful, don't do this at home. Turn the blender off and add liquid little by little. If I followed my own advice, I wouldn't have a finger that needed stitches. Anyways, and since I'm already taking risks, might as well add a little bit of salt, about 3 grams or so. And if you haven't done so, you should weigh your pinch of salt. I have a video on that, one of my very first shorts. It will come in handy, especially if you're following recipes. Now I'm going to transfer this to a different container and we're going to cool it down in the refrigerator. Yes, I know, but I couldn't find a smaller container. Now we're going to go ahead and cool this because you don't want to add this to your meat while it's hot. You want this to be nice and cold so that the meat does not cook while you're mixing it. That single California chili gave it that nice deep red color. Now for the meat. This is 2 pounds of ground pork, 80-20, very important. 80-20 refers to the lean to fat ratio, 80% lean, 20% fat. I'm going to add a good pinch of salt here. Again, about 6 grams or so, a little bit less maybe. I added 1 whole serrano pepper, seed and vein and everything. We're going to mix it around, and obviously that was optional. You could add onions instead, or if you want a jalapeno, less spicy. After you mix it, we're going to go ahead and add our marinade. We're going to give it a good mix, but if you notice, we didn't add the complete marinade. We're going to mix it around, we're going to feel it out, and if we feel it's too dry and you see a little bit of the pink color of the meat, you're going to add a little bit more. If it feels a little too wet, then you should stop there. Mine felt a little too dry, so I added the rest. Went ahead and gave it a good mix. Now you can save this in your refrigerator for 3 to 4 days. You can put it in your freezer bags and save it for a month or 2. Or let it marinate for at least 1 hour before you cook it. How do you know the seasoning is good? Well, you make a little patty like this, and then once it's cooked, you taste it. And if you like it, you're good. If not, you adjust. I, however, knew it was going to be good, and it occurred to me, why not make something out of this? So I couldn't help myself but to make breakfast for dinner. So once you have an ice here, you go ahead and flip it. After a minute or 2, you go ahead and funk this up with a little bit of cheese. Chill, Grandma, I said funk. This looks good to me. English muffin on the chorizo fat that was left over in the pan. Let that bread soak up all that goodness. Look at that. Ooh. And this was a perfect opportunity for me to try out these molds that I found the other day while shopping. Oil in. The mold was wonky, so I had to hold it with one hand while pouring the egg. Already minus points. I was expecting the egg to run out, but it didn't. So I guess plus points, so it cancels out the minus. Wow, look at that. And we're going to give it a flip here. Kind of like the mold. Good for a couple sandwiches, but I'm pretty sure it could be annoying if you got to do more than 5 all at once. Ladies and gentlemen, and now for the flip. Not too bad. Almost as if I knew what I was doing. So there's your English muffin and your homemade chorizo and jalapeno patty with melted cheese, your molded chicken caviar, and the top of the English muffin bun.